Crafting Vicky here with you, and I'm here to make something a bit different. I've been part of the deconstructed journaling group on Facebook for quite a long time, and I've been on the sidelines watching what everybody makes, and I finally decided to join in on the swaps. So in order to join in, that group is super organized. You need to do a first swap with a mentor and show that you are trustworthy and that you will deliver whatever you promise that you're going to do. And so with the mentor, my first journaling that I need to make is about nature. So the whole principle of the deconstructed art journal is that you prepare journaling page that is going to be can be inserted in somebody else's journal, and it has to be like a full journaling page. And in the swaps, there's 4 in a group, and so you send out 3, you get 3 back, and you make one for yourself. So you get a book pretty fast, and it's fun to see other people's art. So with the nature one, I was lucky because I had already some jelly printed paper. So this is one side and this is the other side. Don't look at that part yet. And so I thought like this was perfect for something to do with nature. And I found some EK stickers that I had that would be perfect for this. And I'm thinking like this. And I'm going to be making a little stem here. And I've got great Unity stamps that are just waiting to be used, and I've been, they're in my stash, and they've been there for a while, and I don't use them a lot. So I told you, I get sniffles when I start talking. It's bad. Anyway, sorry about that. So yes, I figure it would be time to do that, and there's great sentiments, so I thought maybe like I could stamp something here and do that. So that would be nature. And then here I found I have a stamp with some dragonflies that I would love to put there, and a wonderful quote. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put a light wash on this, because obviously when I did the jelly printing, those 2 colors are not the best, but that was like at the beginning of my jelly printing. I'm getting a bit better on this. Usually I try to match it, but anyway, that wasn't the case. So this part I'm gonna do something about it so that it's not as jarring when you're changing the covers. And on this side I had done a book, a junk mail, a junk journal out of junk mail to my friend Sharon, who was in really, she needed to have some cheer me up, and I will put in the link up above the journal that I made for her. And so when I made it, I used some little flyers that I had and a lot of goodies that she had sent for the You and Me challenge. She had made me way too much. She had given me like this huge package, and so I had figured I was going to use that, but I also wanted to have other images because the book was pretty big. So I ended up cutting up a bunch of gardening magazines, and so I used a lot of the flowers that I had cut out, but I still had some, and I remembered that I had some, so I thought this would be cool for the cover. So what I did is I right on top of this I used a regular glue stick, and I glued all over. I put glue all over, and then I stuck down my images, and then I just cut out the edge because I didn't want to, I wanted it not to be stuck like squares. So I put it offside, so then I cut all around it, and voila, you've got the page. So now what is needed on this one is a little sentiment, and I've got one, but before I do that, I want to put a bit of white, because it's not going to show on this if I don't do that. Now let's find the little sentiment I want to do. This is the one I want to put. It's about that big, so I don't need a whole lot of, because I don't want to put too much white, but I do need to cover up some of it, because otherwise it's not going to show, right? And I didn't want all the pages to be exactly the same, so that's why I figured, you know, on the first page I'm doing kind of a collage, on the next one I'm using some stickers and my jelly printing, and on the back one I'm using just the stamping. So it's kind of different. I don't want to be like repetitive. I hate that. And I like to challenge myself as well. So when I saw that it was nature, I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do with this? And I think I found something pretty good. Okay, so now this is dry. I didn't use gesso just because I had white paint from the dollar store, and I figured for what I need to do, it's going to be plenty. So I just need this, and I keep sniffling, and you guys won't believe me, but I don't sniffle all day, and then I get here and I sniffle. I don't understand. Okay, I just need to make sure, whoops, that this is the right side up. It's pretty good. So this is the stamping. So it says, life holds so many blessings, each day bringing its own individual wonder. So I'm thinking that's pretty good. And once I finish doing everything, I'm gonna be what I'll do is edge the paper, but I won't do it right now just because I'm not finished. So let's dry this, because I've done messes just because, even if it's stamped, and even if it's stamped with some archival ink, if I go too fast, I make boo-boos. I don't know about you, but yeah, I make a lot of boo-boos. So, trying to learn from them the joy of getting older. Okay, so I'm finished with this stamp. So let's open this up. So on the inside, I want to put a sentiment here, and I was thinking of this one, nice big one. Okay, and I'm gonna just stick this here. And this butterfly here. It's kind of cheating, right? Having the pre-jelly plated paper. But now I'm realizing that I'm almost out of that, so I'm gonna have to make more, because it's definitely useful to have some. Okay, I don't have any do I use that? Okay, I suck at making leaves and stuff. I wish I was as good as some other YouTubers that I see doing this. But I guess it's a question of practice, right? So if I keep doing it, maybe one day when I get old and gray, I'll be good at it. Okay, so I'm thinking that might be better to tone some of that down too. Not too much, but just a bit. It's easier to add some color to it afterwards, but at least be able to read the text that I'm going to be stamping, than not being able to read it and having to cover the whole thing up again. My brush is losing. It's a cheap brush, right? Usually works really good, but that's not the size I use usually, because all my other ones are being are in the wash right now. Oh my god, it's really losing a lot of fiber. Wow. So, note to self, the green one sucks. This one I use all the time. The yellow ones I've used all the time. This must be one of the first time I use one of the green ones, and it really sucks. Okay, so is this the right way or not? I think I'm gonna try it out on something else first, just because I don't want to. It would really suck if I try it out and it's the wrong way, and that's totally the type of thing I would do. So let's be smarter than I am usually. Can you tell I'm nervous? I really want everything to go well with this group. Okay, so this is the right way, but I need to push it a lot harder. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go and get my mouse pad. I'll be back. These are just, this is just an old mouse pad from previous workplace, and I find that, okay, well, usually it works a lot better when you stamp. Yep. Okay, so let's try this out. Wish me luck. It's pretty good. I'm happy. Okay, so use that. This I'm going to need the pens again. Don't need the stamp set anymore. Here, however, I'm thinking that maybe I should do a bit of more of stamping, just because I can and I want to. I like mixed media a lot. Oh yeah. So much better. Okay, so that's done. Now I need to do the back. I'll just dry this off a bit. so this is dry. So now for the back. I said I was going to use, oh, what happened to them? Whoops. It's because it came with the sentiment from the front. I want to use my little dragonflies, and I've got a great sentiment as well, which would be awesome on this. But I'm not liking that color all that much for this. It doesn't really fit. Let's just see, like the sentiment is going to be that big. And this is going to be that. But maybe I could put some yellow on this. Let's try that. Just because I can and I want to. So I'll use some of my dilution paint, because my dilution paint is it's not as thick, so it's not as opaque, and stuff will you know, we'll be able to see the background. And I'm sorry about the noise. My husband just came back and he's like making a ton of noise in the background. Oh yeah, I'm thinking that that's going to be much better. Brighten it up a bit. Kind of tie it in with the rest of the little journaling book. Okay. Okay, so that's done. Yikes. Got paint all over me. What a surprise! I always have paint all over me. So, do I put another color or do I leave it as is? I'm thinking that there's already a lot, but if I want the text to show, maybe I should put a bit of white, the same way I did before. And this is about how long it's going to need. Like you can see, I'm like really brushing it because I don't want to have this big blob of white. And I want the background to still seep kind of through, but I want whoever's getting my mentor to be able to read what I've put on there. Okay, so okay, stick this on. This way I know is the right way. I love this stamp set. I've actually used it before, which is rare. There's a lot of stamps that I don't use all that much, but this sentiment is on a little canvas that I made for myself at work, and I love it. Love it. Hopefully it's gonna print good. I should have put my mat. I forgot. No, it looks pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Okay, so let's wash this a bit. And then let's put the little dragonflies. I love dragonflies. I actually have a little tattoo of a dragonfly. I heard somewhere, and I don't know if it's true, but that when you see one, it's like somebody that you love that's coming to visit you. I don't know if it's true, but I just love that story. You don't see them a lot, but you see them a bit. Enough to know that they're there. And they're like kind of like, because dragonflies, because of their color, you don't see them all that much. They kind of blend in and disappear on you. So that is done. Just want to put away my stamp in the proper fashion, because as you can see how I store these stamps, because they're sets, what I do is I stamp all the images in the set on a piece of paper, and I write the name of the set that is part of, and then what I do is I put the images in the stamps in a DVD case, and then I put on a label maker the name of the stamp set with the image, and then I store it that way. And it makes it very easy to find whichever stamp I want. I just go through the book, my book of different stamps and sayings, and decide which one I want to go with. And I just go and get it, and voila, I got my my stamp. Because I was getting, like, my collection is pretty big, and I was getting overwhelmed with all my stamps, and I couldn't tell which one I had, which one I didn't have. It was becoming like a big mess, and I have found that that's the best way for me to be able to keep track of them and make sure that I know they're there when I need to use them. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna edge with my faithful black Pitt pen, because I always do. I love my black Pitt pen. It's probably one of my most used tool. You know, when people ask what tool you use, well, in pens it's probably one of the ones that I use the most. I love the edging of it. The bad thing though is it's easy to get it on your fingers and then get it all over your project when it's not dried. It's permanent after, but it's happened to me that me and my big fingers end up messing it, which really sucks if you've made something you really like and then you kind of mess it all up just because you didn't wait for it to dry. And it happens even more when you're doing something like this, which has multiple sides. It's very easy to screw it up. As you can see, I'm trying to keep my hand away from it so that I don't drag it. I'll just try it a bit on this side too. I have to be careful. See, like my end here, you can see my little finger has ink on it. That's what I do. Okay, and then finish the back. Whoa, went a bit much. Fortunately, I didn't put anything on it, so I was still able to remove some of it because I didn't put any. Usually I will put a medium, my varnish, and medium on it, so that it kind of, if I make a mess, I can just wipe it out before it's dry. And I did pretty good here. Okay, so let's put this away before I show you the final result. Okay, so everything is put away, and here is the final look at it. So this is the front. I don't know if I can back it up a bit. So this is the front, the middle spread, and then the back. And you can see the little dragonflies here. And I've put them here and some here as well. But it kind of looks like a forest and a type of, so I'm liking how it turned out. So, hope you like this. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave comments below. And if you haven't checked out that group, you really should, because you're missing out on some great swaps and stuff. So I will be putting down in the description box below the link to the group. So if you want to check it out, you can. And that's it for me. So bye bye.